Okay, let's go.
So one of the first cues to emotional intelligence is knowing yourself. Knowing that at the end of the day, you really don't care what other people think.
Okay, let's go.
What's up? What's up? What's up, fam? It's me, Big Sarge, coming to tonight from the business side. To my drill team, salute. And if you're one of those new people that happen to come across my page tonight, hit that subscribe. So, tonight I want to talk about emotional intelligence. Tonight, I've done about 3 months worth of homework that I condensed down into about a segment that can save you a lot of time. So if you go over the internet and you start looking up emotional intelligence for self, for money, for relationships, there's so many different cues and different outlets on how you could sum up what emotional intelligence will be for different things. But tonight, I want to focus on emotional intelligence for self. Because I truly believe that once we make ourselves the best version of ourselves, it's how we become a better version for our significant others. So I've taken months worth of homework. I've literally been all over the internet, man. I've spent years listening to different podcasts, different programs, read so many different books on how to make myself the best version of a man that I could possibly be. And that's not to say that I practice them all, but that's definitely to say that at the end of the day, a lot of us, we know what the right thing is. We know what the best thing is. And sometimes coming to podcasts like this, coming to different content creators like this, it's almost like church. And I'm saying it's almost like church as in most of us know the scriptures. We know the Bible, but you're constantly going because you want to re-energize that spirit, re-energize your soul. So when you come to content creators pages like this is when we're constantly or consistently giving you information on how you can make yourself better, how you can make your relationship better, how we can become better parents, better friends, better employees, better owners, better bosses, better whatever it is. But at the end of the day, fam, whatever it is that we want to become better at, it takes work. So one of the first cues to emotional intelligence is knowing yourself. Knowing that at the end of the day, you really don't care what other people think. And it's not that you don't care what other people think. It's that at the end of the day, you know that you're striving to become the best version of yourself. And that's professionally, personally, spiritually, financially, emotionally, whatever it may be. That a lot of times to get from A to B, a lot of people's not going to understand the path that you're on. So when you get on that path, stay focused on it. Commit yourself, discipline yourself so that you continue to strive and push forward with it. The second key to emotional intelligence, or the second point rather, the second point is you want to take responsibility for your actions. At some point, fam, we're going to have to stop blaming mom and dad for what happened to us as children. And I said in one of my previous programs that I believe that age should be at about age 16. At age 16, we want to start taking responsibility for ourselves, for our actions. We want to stop blaming other people for things. We want to stop playing the victim. Because now we're at a point, especially by the time that we're adults, young adults, or even mature adults, we're at a point where we are the decision makers. So even if there are outside influences that's pulling us this way or telling us to go that way, at the end of the day, that's the way that we chose to go. So we no longer play the victim. We accept responsibility for whatever it is that we do. The next point is that we want to continuously grow. So I'm not going to give y'all the narrative, try to read a book every day. Sometimes I don't read a book every day. In fact, what I have done even over the past 2 years is that I've listened to the Bible being read to me. I've listened to it being broke down to me so that I can become better proficient with the word. Even when there are other books that come out, I'm always ordering like the digital audio portion of it. I'm listening to it while I run every day. I'm listening to it while I'm at the gym. I'm listening to it when I'm taking showers. So even like they have this program called Babbel, and I'm not a sponsor for them or anything like that. But what I do know is that I listen to it every day, 10, 15 minutes, just so I can work on my Spanish. Next point of the day. Next point is that it's going to seem hard to do, but we're going to have to do it, people. We're going to have to cut those toxic people out of our lives. Big Sarge, what you mean toxic people? You know what I mean when I say toxic people. People that just don't fit into our lives anymore. And sometimes maybe it's because they've done something for us. Maybe even they owe us something or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, he or she no longer fits into your life. They don't fit into that big plan. And as hard as it may seem, as hard as it may appear, you really have to cut those people out of your lives, because that's the only way we can get from A to B. You can come down any spiritual principle. I guarantee you, if you even listen to T.D. Jakes or whatever belief system you may have, they will tell you over and over again that sometimes, and unfortunately, fam, a lot of times, we have to be willing to let some of those people go. They just don't fit into our lives anymore. The next that we have to have a beginner and a finisher's mindset constantly running through our minds at all times. We have to know what the big plan is. We have to set goals and intricate details for ourselves on how we're going to get to goals, how we're going to make different things happen. I went into my daughter's room and she had like all of these little sticky notes all around the room, you know, and I read them. Someone would be like, read the scripture for 2 minutes a day. Try to pray for at least 60 seconds a day. Try to read this chapter, do that chapter. Commit to eating a certain amount of calories every day. And I realized that sometimes that those are the moments that we need to reinforce what it is that we know we have to do. Reinforce what it is that we know that we want to do. And sometimes you just have to just read it, make a little note to yourself. But at the end of the day, you want to keep that mindset of how I'm going to get from A to B, what's going to happen from A to B, how am I going to go from B to C, and so forth. And the last point that I want to make for that emotional intelligence of self is that we want to respect that those different little things and everything that happen throughout the day, they really affect your mood, fam. So when by the time you know that this thing puts you in a good mood or this thing puts you in a bad mood, at some point, we're going to have to make that decision that we're going to have to remove those different things that makes it difficult for us to remain focused. This difficult for us to remain disciplined. And we just have to move them out the way. But those are just some of the different things that I summed up over the course of the past years on emotional intelligence and what it looks like for self, on how to become a better version of myself. I would love to know exactly what different things you had. What was it that helped you get along from A to B?
Okay, let's go.
This is Big Sarge, fam. And I'm out.